This man, Aaron D'Souza, launching a new kind of Olympic Games, he's calling it, the Enhanced Games.
Yep, you read the title right. The Steroid Olympics are happening. Now, when I read this headline, I found this absolutely hilarious. Because about a year ago, me and my friends were all just talking and goofing off. And then we went on a 10-minute rant on how it would be hilarious to have a Steroid Olympics. And then we kind of thought, and we're like, wait a minute, isn't that just professional sports already? Because, like, realistically, when you think about it, do you really think Tom Brady is throwing a football at 40 years old, or LeBron James is spending $2 million a year on performance and recovery, and you expect them not to have any type of peptides, any type of PEDs in that system? But with all that being said, I'm definitely interested to learn more about the Enhanced Games or Steroid Olympics, and so I'm going to be watching these videos giving my take on it.
So performance-enhancing drug use, of course, is something that comes up whenever you're talking about professional sports, right? For more than half a century.
So I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably like, Jacob, these are serious allegations. Now, again, these are all just my opinions. I don't know if everyone's juicing, but in my opinion, I'd say there's a good 99% chance that pro athletes are already juicing and just taking designer cycles in order to not get caught. I mean, there's many instances in pro sports and the Olympics where people have already gotten caught, and what are the odds that other people just haven't gotten caught yet? For instance, Usain Bolt. You mean to tell me that he's one of the only people in that year to not get caught using steroids, even though he is the poster child for everything? Like, think about it. Wouldn't he want to get on a cycle, if he's not already, to be the best of the best? But they're not going to call him out for it, even if he did get caught, because as I said before, he is the poster child. He inspires millions of kids and adults everywhere. And he is the face of the Olympics.
One man has asked, what's the big deal?
Well, I think the big deal is early death. But please
Businessman
continue.
Aaron D'Souza launching a new kind of Olympic Games, he's calling it, the Enhanced Games for athletes who would otherwise be banned from international competition. D'Souza's Enhanced Games hope to launch in December 2024 with athletes competing in track and field, swimming, weightlifting, gymnastics, and combat sports. I'm guessing that's going to be like the MMA stuff.
So with health concerns out of the way, I think this is actually a pretty cool idea, assuming all pro athletes aren't on gear in the first place. I think this is an interesting idea to see how far humans can go. I'd definitely watch it.
While D'Souza says the idea is morally correct, others, including global Olympic leaders, have blasted this event as an unsafe joke.
So if I'm being honest, I couldn't see this being any more unsafe than, say, the NFL, where you have a 300-plus pound linebacker who's, in my opinion, clearly sauce to the tit. The only difference here is they don't have to go through all the steps and precautions to hurry up and cycle off. So maybe this is even safer. I don't know.
And Aaron D'Souza, president of the Enhanced Games, is joining me right now. Hello, Aaron. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
I appreciate it. What do you say to people, though, who think this is a gimmick?
It's absolutely not a gimmick. We're extremely serious. I'm very proud of the Olympians who have signed up to our Athletes Advisory Board, including Olympians like Christine Smith, Roland Schumann, Brett Fraser. They've really put their reputations on the line to back this bold and new concept where we're embracing science and embracing social and technological change.
So in my opinion, you're kind of just embracing stupidity, but I could see his point of view through this. And my only thing is, like he said, reputation. Why would a pro athlete want to do this? Let's say that the games do go down in flames and they decide not to end up doing the games because they can't have the proper funding. Now all these athletes have come clean that they are on steroids or other types of PEDs, and now their whole careers are ruined because they made that thing. Obviously, you're not going to be natural in competing in the Enhanced Games, so your whole reputation is on the line.
Have you heard from Sha'Carri Richardson, the track sensation who was busted for using weed?
Yes, a tainted burrito, I think was the phrase.
Yeah, this was absolutely ridiculous. So this track Olympian, if we're talking about the same person here, got caught with nandrolone. This was a story taken back like a couple years ago. And her excuse for getting popped for PED use in nandrolone was because of this burrito that she brought from a taco truck. It is absolutely insane, in my opinion, that she could possibly do that.
in that. But yes, the use of performance enhancements in sport is rife, and the definition of what is a performance enhancement is extremely subjective.
Now, he's absolutely right. There's obviously steroids like Trent, and then there's BPC 157, that all it does is heal you and it doesn't actually cause muscle growth. In my opinion, everything should be allowed or nothing should be allowed, and I like the idea of the enhanced games for that perspective.
Cannabis is perfectly legal in many states of the United States now, but it can get you banned from competing in the Olympic Games. It's a complete farce.
I think that's an absolutely great point that he brought up, not to mention that caffeine used to be banned by WADA as a performance-enhancing drug, and obviously it's not. People drink caffeine constantly, a cup of coffee a day. Me personally, I don't drink coffee, but I'll go to the gym, blast it off my mind of pre-workout just to hit a set, just because it feels good to me. So he does bring up a pretty excellent point.
But do you think that more and more athletes, I mean, you have people confirmed, you mentioned a long list there, but do you think more and more athletes who can no longer compete are going to participate because they have the audience, they have the following?
Absolutely. Since we launched just 5 days ago, we received over 100 inquiries. Just before I spoke with you today, I've been speaking with a Team USA medalist who is ready to compete for us. And there's a huge interest in building a better version of the Olympics.
You see, I just don't know if that's true. I mean, in my opinion, you're just self-sabotaging yourself.
Olympics have been broken for at least 20 years since Sydney 2000, corruption scandal after corruption scandal. And we're really looking forward to the opportunity to show the world that science is real and medicine can really make human beings better.
I mean, I would hardly call trenbolone acetate a medicine. But, I mean, he does bring up some interesting points. The Olympics have been insanely flawed. Even the bobsledding team has got caught using PEDs. A bobsledding team. What do you need? Trenbolone or any type of PED for bobsledding, like to get in the sled faster? I'm not too sure, man.
You described the anti-steroid movement as being anti-science. I hope I'm getting all of these facts correct.
Absolutely.
But the
So I would hardly call anti-steroids anti-science. The problem with steroids are, one, they're illegal because they can cause health complications and concerns. But I'm a firm believer in, if you want to do steroids, do them safely, be open and honest about them. If you are making videos, if you are trying to get clout, then be honest about the steroid use. And if steroids are illegal, just don't talk about them, Don't be a fake natty, though. That's the biggest problem.
National Institutes of Health, the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, the UK's National Health Service, they all say anabolic steroids are addictive and that their use can cause a number of health issues: heart attacks, strokes, tumors, kidney failure, psychiatric problems. Why are you so passionate about this, and why are you considering it anti-science?
Well, science is about peer-reviewed evidence. And unfortunately, so much of the evidence that is presented about performance-enhancing drugs has been funded by the World Anti-Doping Authority and the International Olympic Committee. So it's not truly objective scientific evidence. And I'm pleased to say that the Enhanced Games is a world-class scientific advisory board, including top academics from Harvard and Oxford University, are very supportive of what we are doing.
So I will say, I like the idea that these games will be monitored and supervised by professionals, scientists, and guys that specialize in this field to keep the game safe. That's an excellent idea. So with all this being said, what are my final thoughts and conclusions on this? I'm not too sure. I think as a joke, the Steroid Olympics are a pretty funny idea. I think it's a good way and a good competition. I think, now this may be a very controversial take, I think this could be safer than normal sports. Now hear me out. So normal sports, I can almost say for certain, I can't say for certain, but I could almost imagine that all these athletes are taking PEDs and performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, etc. But I don't think that they're doing it in the safest way possible. And I think the Enhanced Games could be a good way for these athletes to be monitored, well-tested, and to make sure everything's going. In a sense, everything's out in the open. The negatives of this games being the fact that you're going to be taking as much gear as humanly possible in order to one-up your competition just not in secret, so that is the negative behind this idea. I think it all just comes down to, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't think this is necessarily a bad idea. I don't think it's a good idea either. And to be honest, I'm not too sure how many people will watch this, because who would want to put their career in jeopardy in order to join these games? The best of the best are already in the Olympics, so why would they want to move over to the enhanced games and to potentially ruin their reputation? That's just my take on it. But I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for today. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.